What is up, everybody? This is Tico, also known as Richard, and I'm coming back to you with another costed game. This time, I want to go across some of the details. So, firstly, when you think of the Holy Roman Empire, when you play Holy Roman Empire, you think of Relics, right? Now, this game was a very, I would say, tooth and nail type of match where a few fights could have determined the game, and on pro level play, a lot of things would have been done a lot better. But I think I had the right reply to a very effective Castle Age on his side, and he had the relic advantage, and you know how much gold advantage you get from the relics. So I had to play a different playstyle, but this actually worked very much into my favor in pushing my advantages, and I'll show you exactly what that is. So we'll do it as a breakdown guide for the Holy Roman Empire on what choices I made early on, and that's the nice thing when you start playing a Civ a lot. And I'll show you just quickly on the statistics. Yes, I did win this game, but like I said, it was very tooth and nail until the very end, and I'll show you why. On the total unit score, you can see here we got pretty high scores. We killed 179 units, so obviously he had a lot more units out. We raised 24 buildings, so he was fighting until the very end. It's not like you just killed one building, but this is the most important part I want to show you guys. So we gained almost 10,000 more food than him. On the wood, that's what's that, 12,000, 13,000 more wood. He didn't even touch stone. I didn't even go for a second town center as well. And then the gold, we outscaled his gold, even though he had the relics, and I'll show you guys why. This was a really nice game for the Holy Roman Empire, and let's jump into it. I think you can see in game what the ranking is of him. I'll quickly check that out. I think he was pretty high ranked. He didn't play like a bad player at all. Doing a lot of good things, using the scouts properly and everything. So I'll show you guys exactly, but let's get into it so we can discuss it properly. So I even typed it out to him. I said to him I had quite a difficult spawn. So let's just quickly look at the spawn. So I have a secure woodline here, and all the way here at the back with the gold at the back. But if I want to get to the gold, you can see how far forward that is. My deer spawn is right out here in the front. So it's going to be very difficult to get to that. And basically the only thing that I have secure is the woodline. On his side, the gold and the stone is separate, so the gold's all the way here at the back. Second gold is all the way here in the front, so you can see our second golds are quite exposed. Very close woodline, and he has the berry spawn close by. Mine is actually at the back. His is to the side, so pretty much a similar, very far spawn, if I can put it like that. Like nothing is close by. And for the Holy Roman Empire, especially this map, it's difficult because other maps you'll get this gold mine quite close, and those 5 or 10 second differences makes a big difference in how you play the faction. So I start off with 6 on food, and then eventually transition over. That's my first scout right there, so going for the double scout opening. 6 on the food straight away. He already split into wood, so went 4 on wood, 2 on food, nothing on gold already. That's surprising. I wonder what he was expecting going wood early on. That's very interesting to me. But now going for a house very far outside his town center. Wait, I just want to check something. Yeah, he's a diamond player, so there should be some understanding regarding why he's doing it like this. But let's see, understand why. So DJJ, I'll just call him DJ in this game, and myself, Tikoi, and you can see that beautiful little landmark there, or the statue. That's for the platinum. The gold one would be gold. Platinum is this little platinum one. I think that's a nice little flex when you get it, and also in your icon you can see here on top. It's really nice to have. Obviously the diamond one would have been nice because that's like a very light blue type of vibe. You can see how bad I'm also microwaving on my side. I mean, two idle villagers just standing here for a good part of 30 seconds, which should have been rallied to the food, but I rallied them over there because I wanted to transition into wood, and then I decided to go into this one, and my prelate is not even inspiring for a good 30 seconds, so really not the most effective game on my side. Let's hop over quickly on his side. I just want to see where the scouts are. He's scouting his side first. So there's the first scout, second scout, and his town center. 3 on gold and 7 on food. He gathered extra wood. I'm not sure why. But yeah, so we do see what he's up to. Just getting a bit of a basic scout run through, not picking up that much sheep. And if you look at my scouting pattern, it's all over the place. There's no system to my scouting right now compared to his. You can see now he's scouting me out. His other scout is running to the edge of the map. So I think his scouting was a lot better than mine. It does make a difference because he ends up getting a lot more sheep than I do. But we have that standard, you know, it's usually 3 and 6. You can get away with 6, but I mismanaged it in a little bit in the early, so I went on to about 8 here, and then I just went to inspire my gold again, and then very shortly I'll start transitioning into the wood line. Now I know, because I made early mistakes, that I needed to do some small silly things like bring a single sheep back. Here you can see I'm bringing at least some more sheep back, but I dropped my Regnitz, was it Archon Chapel? Sorry, Regnitz is the castle age landmark. I could have garrisoned here and I could have killed him. I didn't, so I lost out on another 6 sheep there. Was just mismanaging my very bad start. Let's put it that way, right? But my Archon Chapel is also a little bit badly placed because right here there's not enough space to get a farm in. So you lose virtually this whole strip because you can't get the farms down there. And I'll show you why that's important very shortly, right? So he goes for the mill. We have not gone for a mill yet, but we'll go for it very shortly. And I'm going up with 4 villagers. He has not started his... what do you call it, his landmark yet. Let's see how many sheep he have. He has 6 here, and there's maybe 3 or 4 carcasses. He got a pretty good run at the sheep, I won't lie. And no wheelbarrow up yet. We know our sheep is starting to run low, so very shortly I'll also transition into a mill on my berries here at the back. But also, yeah, he's rushing it a little bit. He's going for 6 villagers. But this is kind of where the game starts to split, to decide the 2 different playstyles. So this is my first scout, this is my second scout, town center. So 1, 3, 2. That's what I like. It's what I've been learning and getting comfortable with. So that's been kind of working really well for me. I change over 4, 5, and 6 to military groups. 7 would usually be my military buildings. I know you can select them with F2 as well, but sometimes you get the wrong type of unit or buildings lined up first, and then you have to tab through all of them. So he's using his scouts here to harass my gold, which is great. It's gonna force me to respond to that very shortly and spend some resources. He's also still on 3 on gold, 8 on food, and transitioning onto the wood line, same as us, but we are pushing for the mill now. Did he get wheelbarrow? Still no wheelbarrow, which he could have done. You can see his resources are quite decent, but the thing that I know of or learned is, as soon as you hit Archon Chapel, Castle A, or Feudal Age, you go for a lumber and wheelbarrow. That's your first 2 upgrades, and then you kind of decide if you want to go bear without any military training to go into that castle age, or are you gonna harass and play into you know, a bit more of a safe castle age. So I went for a safer castle age because I also have not been scouting the best. I scouted the whole map. You can see I found the relics, one there. Let's just reveal the map. There's a forward relic right here, right on top of his base. There's one here at the back, and then one all the way back here. So he sends his scouts two scouts forward to harass my gold, which is the right thing to do, because obviously both of us wants to go into at least castle age as soon as possible before like the 7-minute mark. That's like a good ballpark, and you can see how quickly he's pushing for that. He has only one prelate out. You can see there's no extra prelate, so he has the prelate in the Archon Chapel, and he has that little ring inspiring his wood. Really nice placement here, and you can see there's one space too much. You want to just leave enough for a farm to get down there, so you can use the space around the Archon Chapel. Now, I wanted to drop the stable right here. Don't build in your radius. This even right here is maybe too close. Should have been maybe like right there. But I have one. He did kill one villager, by the way, with those scouts. But I have the horsemen here, and I have my scouts now going into see if I can get some harassment, some information. How aggressive is he going, or what's happening on his side? You can see now only he's getting his wheelbarrow, lumber, and then also going for forestry as well. Spending some gold there, so now it's kind of even game because he has a food advantage, yes, but also we have our research done, so we are gaining food a lot sooner. So at this point in the game, I'm like, okay, I know I'm behind because I messed up my start very early, so let's use the Archon Chapel. I've always said, like, I've been so bad with the Archon Chapel farm placements, because I would either build within my Archon Chapel, stuff like this, the house and the lumber camp, or I would not build my farms here. I would build my farms randomly somewhere, and you'll see why that makes a big difference. You already saw the food difference in the beginning, right? So I have a single horseman here, and this is quite nice, right? Just a little bit of microing here. He has 10 villagers right here, and he has a prelate here healing them up and inspiring them. But I did move them back and forth and create some idle time. Even if it's just a few seconds, it does create idle time. Now true prelates here at the back, and you can see now on his side he has a prelate here, second prelate there, and he's probably dropped out this prelate so he can get the relics out. You'll see those prelates moving out towards the relic like you see right here. I'm probably going to go for this one, and probably going to go for this one to get those very early relics. And yeah, so it's quite difficult, and I can't really do much to counter this right now. And they always say whoever goes farms first loses. I think the Holy Roman Empire is a alternative to the English when it comes to farms. The English get huge farm advantages because of how cheap the farms is, and yes, on higher level play, you're probably not always going to get away with this, especially like French, but this is a mirror matchup, so you kind of have to decide what is right or wrong for you. You can see his Archon Chapel pretty much open, nothing on wood, transitioned a lot. You see, this is also a thing that costs you a bit of game time, is if you have villagers running from wood all the way to the berries, all the way back to the wood, vice versa, running around, that's going to cost you a bit of time. So we have our first scout dead. I don't know where he died. He was here somewhere, but I think the spearman killed him. And this scout is just kind of keeping kind of a vision onto his base so we can see what's going on. So he gets the age up. We force drop off with the gold, and we actually decide to go for a Burgrave Palace. I'm like, right now, I know he has prelates out. I've seen the prelates with my scout. So I know this is going to happen, where he's going to pick up the relics. He has scouts in the back of my base. We go for a blacksmith, and I actually trained a horseman, but they're not there right now. So we kind of have to decide what strategy we're going to do here. But with the few farms, I have 13 farms, only 11 of them filled, but we are gaining up, more villagers onto these farms. It's giving me 400 food per minute. On his side it's only 500 actually, and let's just have a look. Villager count wise, he's on 31, 15 on food. I have 11 on food, so it's already a 4 villager bonus just by having these villagers on the food. And now you can see the scouts are bringing back this relics. The first one has been dropped in the Regnitz, and he's gonna try and get this Wallalo off. I almost missed it. You can hear the sound go off just as he exits the ring, so very lucky there. But he's on 32 population, we're on 36, so we've been, even with the early mistakes, been doing good training villagers with little idle time. There you can see I changed the rally point down to this relic, and I send forth a single horseman. I know my Burgrave is going to be done very shortly, and remember we rally our villagers now onto the gold, so now we have extra, what's it, 10 villagers on gold, and that's going to give us decent gold income right now. And then we have the single men-at-arms, or these Burgrave. Look how quickly this is, guys. This is 4 seconds. Usually it's 20 seconds, so it's basically 4 barracks that you instantly get without spending all the wood. So I didn't have to go and build barracks to get this up. I have the wood economy because I have 11, 12 villagers on the wood line. And because of that, I can transition into the farms, right? A Burgrave, which gives me all the men-at-arms or training that I need. And the best part is, look at this, is 6 seconds. 6 seconds to get the upgrade. So even if you're a little behind on the upgrade, you can see while they are running, I did the upgrade. You'll see the upgrade come in very, very shortly. So from an enemy perspective, yes, he has the relic advantage. Yes, he's gonna have to drop a tower to get this third relic into something. But right now, we built the monastery, and this is also now something that makes a big difference in the game, right? If you look at the income per minute, he's 600 gold a minute quicker than I am. He dropped away on his food, I don't know why. Seems like his food ran out, so he has to transition into the deer here at the back. So he has to run around a lot, and that's going to take some time to stabilize on that food. But on the income per minute scale, just keep an eye on that, right? So I decided, screw that, I'm going to go full on farms. Now we have 18 farms, 14, so there's extra farms available. And I drew back some wood villagers to fill in the farms, and I keep the 10 villagers on the gold, okay? So first thing is I trained another prelate. That prelate was supposed to run here so you can inspire the wood line. And then I want to get this devoutness. Now devoutness gives your inspired villagers extra 10% gathering speed. So that's going to be all this wood, all this food. So instead of 40%, it's going to be 50%, right? Now we also are going to get horticulture, which is another 15% on the food gathering rate. So now this is going to be 65%, right? So just bear that in mind while we are still trying to push for a very nice rate. So we have 9 men-at-arms upgraded, not with the maces, just normal upgrades. So you can see he has standard spearmen, and he tries getting the Wololo off. Just be aware of that. Be mindful when you're pushing in with this aggressive type of play. We have the 4 armor, no +1 armor upgrade yet, so he does the right thing by going crossbows. You can see the crossbows now are queued up, and he does have the resources. He does, and you'll see now he picks up the relic here. He's going to push back this side again. Should have used the villagers to block him off, but he goes for a Wololo, doesn't get it. But now we have 14 villagers idle here. We have another 10 villagers idle here. We killed quite a bit, so we are on 42 villagers. He's on 40 villagers. So 2 villager lead now from this little raid. And this is a trash army. They call it a trash army because they are expendable. If you have infinite food and you have some form of infinite gold, that's going to make a big difference in dropping off. Now, another thing I want to show you guys that is a mistake on my side. I would argue that a perfect Archon Chapel would allow for a mill placement right here and a mill placement right here, and then your farms around the sides, because look at all these villagers at the back. Yes, they gather 40% faster, but they have to run from here all the way back around the Archon Chapel to here, and that's very, very ineffective. So now you can see I'm trying to get this ram up. His crossbows are doing 21 damage each against these men-at-arms. So you can see they're slicing through these men-at-arms. We actually have a land cannon to assist with some damage. Does do quite a bit of damage, but you can see how effective just a single Burgrave palace is with going in a mirror matchup and people going fast castle. Now he has 2 relics there. He has 2 relics secured here on the side, and now pulling, give or take, 12 extra villagers, but creating a lot of idle time from these type of things. Now I'm sending armies to the back here, so I know he's going to try and farm gold or something again, and when he does, we'll just push forward with this army and create a bit more idle time. You'll see now I deleted the lumber camp, the double lumber camp here, so I can get more farms down. And then I see the little gaps, so I try and fill in the gaps, and you can see how messy it gets very quickly if you don't have that Archon Chapel area clean. You can see we did get that devoutness upgrade. We are still waiting for the horticulture upgrade, but now these villagers are gathering 50% faster, whereas these farms on his side, only up to here, these farms are only starting to come out now, so the food difference is huge just because of that, right? And we had a very good, nice timing push with these armies, and I transitioned into horsemen. So now we know he's going over to what do you call it? He went over to crossbowmen, so we can't really go for the men-at-arms because they will get punished by these crossbowmen very effectively. They get countered, right? So we see he keeps training crossbowmen, so we're okay, cool. Let's just try and do a bit of damage here so we stop the mass from accumulating. And I sent forward all my villagers because I actually thought in this position I had a bit of an advantage, and I didn't take into account for the relics right now. Because I tried going for this relic here, I didn't find it, so I assumed that he has 4 relics, and you can see right now he does. He does not have the devout and the benediction upgrade. The benediction allows you to build faster, so I actually wonder if I got it yet. Yes, I did get it. So these villagers should be constructing 15% faster than normal, and from his perspective, this is what he sees. You can see the little field, but there's nothing that gives this away that it's happening, right? So now transitioning into farms, training units, probably saving up now for a imperial age and stabilizing on his food economy. And before he wipes out, now there's a castle or keep right in his base. Unfortunately, the keep cannot see over this tree line, so you would need a tower right here or a forward tower. And I'm like, okay, cool, let's just build some towers, let's just get some form of aggression out. And again, look how many villagers running around, dropping the whole tree line, having to transition into this tree line. And this is going to be 40% less effective because it's not in the range of the Archon Chapel. So no inspiration on these villagers unless he has prelates. And this is not gathered. So that's 21 villagers just idling around. Again, which is in my favor. So I go for a double siege workshop, and I go for a mangonel, and these villagers now I can move over to a forward gold right here. So now we're in a really good spot. You can see I go for a few lancers in this comp. I thought if I push from the side here and get a little proxy base running here, I would be able to cause a bit of harm here, force him to back off from this resource, like the mangonels now you can see. And he goes for the right thing, goes for a counterweight trebuchet first to deal with this, which is the right call. They say don't build a keep if you already see counterweight trebuchets. You want to build the keep before that happens, right? But now he has to invest basically 1,000 resources into this. So because he has the relics, I'm forcing him to spend resources here, to spend wood here, to train more villagers, and use gold to train army because he's expecting more raids and stuff to come. And you can see how quickly my units just disappear. But I split them up so I can get the crossbowmen isolated, but also a few picks on these villagers. And they're running around again, so that's idle time on 23 villagers again, right? So from our perspective, this is what we see. I can't see the siege workshop and stuff, everything happening at the back. I don't know about the 4 relics. I didn't even think about that at this point. I was just focusing on getting my farming economy up. Even this villager, right? He gets inspiration by running back into the ring. You see right there, just as soon as he touches the ring, that's perfect. So he does get the inspiration. So now we have our first upgrade there. So these villagers are gaining 65% quicker. The only thing is we're not getting any inspiration from the wood line anymore, but we have a prelate right here, we have a prelate right here, inspiring this gold line, inspiring this gold line. So 28 on gold, just to keep up with the you know, the relics on his side, because that's 200 and 600 free gold that he's getting from this. And now it's a bit of a problem. I lost my mangonel. Still training some more mangonels here, getting some siege upgrading to get greased access so we can move a little bit quicker. But like I said, what are you going to do with a keep? I don't have the emergency repairs because I'm not tied into my main building. And you can see now I'm actually able to go into Imperial Age. But I'm trying to keep the pressure up of what we've been doing, and this is kind of bad. He just went full on crossbows because he knows I have men-at-arms. He knows I had lancers. What else really do you need? The crossbowmen would dominate lancers. Even with these type of numbers, you don't want to really force anything there. So a bit of a raid here coming in on the side. He's dropping a blacksmith now, only at 22 minutes. So no upgrades there on his side. We have just a +1 ranged upgrade and siege engineering for rams, but that hasn't been the best call, right? So in this point in game, I'm like, okay, cool. If he has mass crossbowmen, just go mass lancers, right? So I use my gold to buy lancers. You guys should let me know, the inspired warriors, is that also a 30-second buff, or is that a permanent buff? After you get buffed, it's a permanent buff, because I haven't used this yet, and I assume there is some value in that. But now, pressing F2, you can see 7 stables, all of them really pushing. On this at this stage, I'm struggling a little bit for resources, and we actually get the Archon Chapel, the Palace of Swabia up, and I decide, okay, cool, let's amass a horseman mass right here, and then we can also push for the upgrades, and you'll see me stabilize with my economy after I train some units to get this upgrade, this elite upgrade. So the elite upgrade is coming in at the same time of these horsemen. So 10 horsemen, 5 landcannons, and a single man-at-arms against 36 crossbowmen, 2 springalds. So basically just crossbowmen, right? So they have +3 ranged armor right now. Once this upgrade comes through, I am actually quite curious to see what the difference is, because we get baited. You'll see these crossbowmen push forward and get a few shots off here. So they only do 12 damage now. It's like normal upgraded longbowmen basically, but they will do, in these type of numbers, they will do a lot of damage, right? So respected fallback. Mangonels does 50% extra damage versus ranged. So you can see we get a few shots just to kind of diminish the numbers, but I'm still on 7 horsemen. What's the range upgrade now? So it's a +1, so it's +4 ranged armor. So each crossbowman only does 8 damage, and we do an additional 13 versus range. So every auto attack is doing 26 damage against these crossbowmen that only has 80 health. So they are really effective right now, because we got the timing right of having all these horsemen plus upgrades and more ranged upgrades coming through here. None of the others. I can even go for military academies to train quicker, but that didn't happen. You know, so there's a lot of improvements I can still do, but right now you can see we're inside his base. We just killed his whole crossbow mass, and now he has to respond with spearmen with only double barracks, and he still doesn't have the upgrades. So yes, it is spearmen, they are going to do a lot of damage, but complementing men-at-arms and landknits and my own spearmen, if I have to, from the Burgrave Palace is going to really assist me in also pushing units out very quickly into his base. So we have the horsemen from the stables, we have the Burgrave Palace, we have a very comfortable food income right now, 1,500 more or less food, or 1,050 food per minute, 1,600 wood, so we transferred those villagers from here down. And just transitioning, you can see a single mill here, but all of this is still very inefficient here at the back. Maybe should have dropped the mill down here as well. So we did get that upgrade here. That would be this upgrade, the teeth barns, just for that little bit of extra food and wood per minute. But now you can see 7 horsemen, elite horsemen in his base right now. 3 trying to get the siege down, and I see he's healing it up because he knows there's value in that, because we just had a keep here, so I think he's expecting that to happen again. But now I'm just sending the villagers forward to kind of create the idle time that I need. You can see now he's trying to stabilize on his side, just spent all of his wood to build some stables up here at the back, because he has farms, he has gold, so he can possibly get food, he can possibly get well, he does definitely have gold, so he can use those resources to get an army up and try and counter this, right? He also did go into Imperial Age, Palace of Swabia, so you can see the villagers are going to get started getting trained back there, but these villagers are rallied here, so as soon as he can, he's going to bring those villagers out to try and gather food. But now we have very effective horsemen, a very big mass of horsemen, 14 upgraded elite horsemen with the ranged upgrade. So if this is all he has, he's really going to struggle. Even with if he goes lancers, these horsemen are going to do 13 damage each, and they are going to, with these numbers, do some pretty decent damage against the lancers. You can see there's the first one that goes down. Second one will go down really quickly right now, because we have the numbers and we don't mind losing them, because we have infinite food, and we're just stabilizing on the gold on this vein, and there's a second vein all the way back here, but there was one right here that did farm out as well. So I'm leaving this horseman in his base, because either he has to respect them or he's going to lose more villagers. And then also I transitioned with the economy I have right now in with what is this, 8 extra barracks, and I garrisoned them all the way forward right here. I got a ram up with the siege engineering, and that is just to push in and get rid of this infrastructure, because if you don't have infrastructure, you don't have units. So now it's basically a losing battle in trying to push for the kill. I did not see this, by the way. I only saw this late. I tried getting the university upgrades. I built an extra monastery because I thought I could push forward to try and steal some of those relics when they go down. And also for the sacred sites. So I wanted to have a bit of inspiration going. I was thinking of getting the inspired warriors, but now in a question of a minute and a half, 22 early men-at-arms up, because they train at 22 seconds each. Look at how big of a difference that is. So so 5 and a bit. That's how quick. So it's 4 seconds each. So the Burgrave Palace is worth 5 and a bit barracks. That's insane. So now he gets a big raid in here with these lancers. No upgrades on them, unfortunately, but it's been quite a difficult game. So he pushes forward onto the villagers. We just, there's no extra range upgrade, but it's lancers. They're going to take and soak a lot of damage. We don't have any resources this side. We have them safe all the way here at the back, but he doesn't know that. So, you know, we just keep them idle and at the same time immediately training up our own lancers and just rallying them here and then focusing on the main fight right here. So now these men-at-arms, elite men-at-arms, 14 plus 2 plus 6, so that's 22 damage each that they're going to do against these stables, against these knights. He's getting food from the berries, so that's where he's getting some food. You can see how high our wood is, but this is quite a nice army, and we are still, you know, giving him a killing blow. We have lancers, we have landcannons, we have elite men-at-arms, knights, and you can see elite men-at-arms right here. So I attack move right there is not on the farms but just close to, so whenever they get close they'll prioritize units instead of buildings. And now I'm just stabilizing, and you can see those lancers. Villagers getting picked off here, but that's not a train smash. We have some lancers in the base, rallied here at the back. I'll train a bit more elite horsemen very shortly because I have food and I have wood. I'm struggling a little bit on the gold because this vein ran out, so I had to transition to this gold vein here at the back. And we also did get all of the food upgrades. So these villagers are gathering 15, 15, 15, right? So that's 30, 45% plus 40%, so 85, 95% quicker than a standard farm. That's how quick they're finishing the farm. You can see here they're basically finishing these farms before they get time to really respawn, as efficient as you can get it. So now the horsemen are here, some lancers here. We're just dealing with this threat right here, and now he lost his gold supply because we killed the Regnitz Cathedral and the monastery. So his gold income now is going to drop to 0 very, very quickly. And we also dropped down a keep because I only basically now saw this. Went for a slow little wallala there. I only saw this very late, and when I saw this after this army, I dropped the keep because that's the easiest way to cause a bit of pressure and deal with stuff like this without having to worry. And we get the killing blow, but I think that's what I'm trying to say is it's not always about the relics. If you see you are behind on a mirror matchup, go for the Burgrave, and that's where it can really make a big difference to get that little Burgrave Palace victories. But thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. There's going to be a lot more coming soon. We are preparing to go into season 2. There's going to be about a week break before that patch comes out. But yeah, as soon as that patch comes out, we'll dive